Welcome back, everyone, to the Monmouth Moms podcast. We are here today on a very gloomy summer day here in Bellworks at the tail end of summer. Unfortunately, I'm such a summer person, so I'm kind of bummed that it went so quickly.
It did.
The weather has just been kind of disappointing. I'm being very pessimistic. I feel like I've been complaining about it constantly. Everyone's like, Kate, stop. Just like it is, you can't change it, but it's been a little like, you have you want plans, and things are just, not the way that they normally are. It's like a very rainy, gloomy summer, and like unseasonably cold now this week.
I don't know. It goes from one extreme to the other. There's no in between. It's summer's 110 degrees or it's 80. It's 60.
Yeah.
So
so chilly, but getting ready for back to school.
Yes.
And really trying to not have too much anxiety with all things that come with back to school and enjoying all the, moments that we have left, but also getting into that, headspace of, just the routines, right?
Routines.
So that's where we are right now. Today we have Christine Ruggiero from Liquivida Wellness Centers in Monmouth County.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to learn more about what you do. There's a few services at Liquivida that are so interesting to me to become much more popular, right?
Yeah.
IV therapy and some weight loss services. And I'm also curious to ask you about just facials and Botox and stuff like that. So we'll delve into that a little bit. But first, I'd love to learn a little bit more about you. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Essex County. I was born in Newark, as most people were, and I moved to Nutley as a child. And then from there, Livingston, and then decided Monmouth County. And I landed in Seabright first and then Middletown. And I've been here 21 years.
Oh.
Yeah, 21 years. My daughter will be 22, and we moved here when she was 1. So,
okay.
Yeah. And I've raised 3 beautiful kids in this town, and I love it. I mean, it's just Monmouth County is farm and culture and freedom. There's lots of parks. That's why we moved, actually.
Really?
It was a lot of parks. I live near Tatum Park. Mm-hmm. So I had never seen a park like that when I first moved, down to Monmouth County, because our parks in Essex County are tiny and old. But yeah, I don't know. I just like the nature. I love being by the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, how close are we? But you do get the comments, though. Are you from the Jersey Shore? So, yes, we are the Jersey Shore. But it's great. It's a great place to raise your children,
There's really nothing like it, I think. I mean, I'm sure there are other places, but not specifically in New Jersey. I think it's very unique. We have an incredible park system, and obviously you said the beaches. There's a lot.
It's a lot to do.
Yeah.
I mean, even all the different parks. I mean, you have hiking trails with big hills and mountains. Then you have the trails by the water, and I mean, at any given point, you can have seafood one night, and then go to the carnival next night, or the boardwalk. My kids used to love to run up and down that boardwalk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love it. I'm going to, I feel like the kids, when they go to college, they always come back home for the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
When my kids come back, I have one in California.
Okay.
She's in college there, and I have one in Orlando. And she's in college as well. She's finishing up, and they still love to come home for the summer, because the summer, the Jersey Shore is what they know.
Yeah. No, it's a great time here.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a nurse.
I am a nurse. Yes. I've been a nurse for a long time.
Okay. And where did you go to school?
Originally, I went to school to be a pharmacist, if you can believe this, and I ended up at Monmouth University.
Oh, how
which
funny.
At the time was Monmouth College.
Okay.
So I went to Monmouth University first, and I did one semester, and my guidance counselor said to me, I don't know if pharmacy is for you. You keep failing chemistry. I said, oh, okay, well, then what do? I have all these classes. And he said to me, I think you should think about nursing. I'm like, nursing? What? So it never entered my mind. And yet I moved back home after basically not doing well for a year down there. And I moved home, and I went to community college, and I said, all right, I'll give this nursing thing 2 years. Mm-hmm. I'll go to school. And if I pass the boards, then it's meant to be. And I did. And I passed the boards. And I said, okay, well, I guess I'll be a nurse. And I landed my first job working nights at a trauma center in Newark. I worked at University Hospital for many years. Loved it. I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Okay.
And then I just decided I was going to rotate through that hospital and get everything I could from it. So I did all the critical care units. I did all the psych units. I did everything there. There wasn't anything I didn't do. And then after that, you grow. And nursing was one of those, and is one of those professions where you could do anything. You can do school nurse, you can do in a hospital, you can do anything. And so that kind of segued me into taking some time off, though, raised my kids a little bit. They were young at the time, went back to school, got a bachelor's from Jersey City. At the time, it was Jersey City State College. Now it's, I think, New Jersey City University. And then from there, I did a master's, and I did it in forensics because I love forensics.
Oh, wow.
So then I did that. I went back to the workforce. I decided to go back into forensic nursing. And I did that for almost 12 years in Essex County, back at the prosecutor's office. And I worked in sex crimes, which is not easy.
Right.
And, like anything in nursing, you have an expiration date. So that was, coming time on that. And I said, what else can I do? And then we were getting into the beginning of COVID. It wasn't really yet we knew what it was.
Right.
But I was kind of getting restless. And I said, all right, what can I do? What can I do? And I just happened to fall upon looking at IV therapy because, like you said, it was getting really into people getting into it. So I looked it up and I thought, oh, I could do this. I could do an IV drip lounge. And that's all I wanted initially. And I reached out to them, and they had said to me, they're based in Florida, and they said, you're a nurse? You have needle power in New Jersey. You should open a wellness center. And I said, oh, what is that? So I got into it, and I really started looking into it, and I was like, I could do this.
Okay.
And then I just thought, let's do it home base. Like I live in Middletown, let's do it in Middletown. And that's kind of what brought me there. So I gave up the forensics, and now I do this, and it's a different type of helping people, but I'm still a nurse.
Right.
And I love it. I do. I love it. It's a different vibe.
So you have 2 locations in Middletown and Marlboro.
Yes.
Okay. And what are some of the services that you offer?
Oh my gosh. Well, IV therapy, obviously, vitamin IV therapy. We do facials, all kinds of facials. The vampire facial is the popular one that everybody knows about, but it's a PRP facial. We do the diamond glow, which is, a lot of people know hydrofacials, but it's a little bit different with a diamond tip. Regular facials. We do chemical peels. We do Botox, Dysport, fillers, all the beautiful stuff too. And, and then we also do wellness. So we do hormone replacement. We do testosterone for the men. Female hormones, obviously, for females. We do peptide therapy, which is huge. That's more in the regenerative side of medicine, which a lot of people are starting to find out and learn about, which is instead of getting to a pill popping culture, we're getting into using your body and what your body normally produces. So peptides are found everywhere. I mean, from creams and potions to injections. So peptides are very big. And then there's always the weight loss, which is very big right now.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about it.
A lot of questions about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know a few people that are taking different, I guess it's Ozempic and what's the other one? There's a few, right?
There's a few. Those are the trade names. So there's Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro.
Mounjaro, yeah.
Mounjaro's a big one now. Right. That's a newer one.
So like to me, it makes me a little nervous for like long-term, side effects. Obviously, like everyone I know who takes it you do see like dramatic weight loss.
Yes.
And they look great, right? But like what are what how does it work? Like how is it prescribed? Is it safe?
Yeah. Oh, all the questions. Yes. So I'll tell you, it is the in thing. Everybody's on it from, the stars in Hollywood, and it's deemed as the quick weight loss, but really it's not. It's just everyone's body's different.
Okay.
So the way we do it, and I did it, so I can attest to this. And I don't do anything, and I don't sell anything, and I don't promote anything in my store that I don't use or have tried myself.
Okay.
One, because I want to be able to speak to it. And two, if there's anything that's a weird reaction or adverse reaction, I want to know about it first. So I did. I did it when it was semaglutide, which was the big original Ozempic. I think I did semaglutide first because I use the generic names.
Okay.
So we do blood work first. We have to do blood work first because it gives you a picture of a person's inside, right? Why are you holding on to all this weight? Is it Is it your metabolism or is it hormonal? Why are you holding on to this weight? Because we have a lot of people that come in and say, I run, I work out every day, I watch what I eat, I still can't get this weight off. So you got to get to the root cause of it. That's the first thing. The second thing, when you do that and you get on to one of the drugs, we do combinations. We don't just give you a prescription for trizepatide or semaglutide because that in and of itself will help you lose the weight. But as soon as you come off of it, if you don't change anything, you'll get that weight right back on. And we don't want that. So what those drugs do is they basically tell your brain that you're full faster. So you eat less. which is great.
Right.
But then what happens when you come off the drug? Like you said, you can't be on these things forever.
Right.
Just like you shouldn't be on prescription pills forever, right? That's just to get you over, to get you better. And then it's maintenance. So for me, I do peptides along with it. So I've maintained my metabolism boost. Mine was also hormonal. I'm 54 years old. So, there's other issues why I was holding on to weight. I couldn't keep saying that I had 3 kids because, now they're in college, so it wasn't really going to fly with anybody.
Right.
But I had a lot of holding on to a lot of weight in the midsection, which as you get older, you hold it on there. And that's hormones. And, and then as your hormones change, so does your weight in different places. So we do a bunch of different things. We have lipotropic shots, which are, lipotropic injections with B12. B12 gives you the energy, and the lipotropic starts to burn the fat in those difficult places, the belly, the hips, the back. And I tried it, and I was like, wow. It took a while, like a couple of weeks, and then I started to see it, and it's very, very subtle.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I have clients that just do that alone, and they're like, look at my waist. I never could wear these pants, they were always so tight.
Yeah.
So now I'm wearing a belt. And that's what I noticed. I started wearing a belt and I started moving the notch. I was like, oh, wow, this is great. And then it came to the point where my belt started needing a belt. What do you call those? Hole punchers. I started, wow, this is really good. So when you do it and you do it the right way and it comes off gradually, it is much better because you have a better chance of keeping it off.
Okay.
And then you curtail that stuff and you come off of it and you learn how to eat like that. You eat smaller meals and you eat less. And you find other things to keep you fuller.
Right.
Like I don't like water, but I started drinking more water now, because I realized, okay, you can't really, can't sustain like that. But everything is done to start you on that journey. And then hopefully we give you the tools to keep you going and motivate. And sometimes, you might need a little bit of help and you need to get back on it, but it's not meant for long term. Right. And that's why I think people don't understand. You shouldn't stay on anything.
Fix, right?
Yeah, you want that quick fix, but at the same time, sometimes it doesn't work that way. Your body doesn't respond the same way. So what took your friend maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks to lose weight might have taken me 3 months.
Right.
So I tell everyone that.
Yeah.
And it took me, I would say probably 6 months to get about 30 pounds off.
Wow.
The last 10 to 15 were very stubborn, and it took me another 3 months to do it.
Okay.
But I've kept it off, so thankfully.
No, you look great.
Thank you.
So tell me about IV therapy. Is it IV therapy, I guess
it's IV vitamin therapy.
Okay.
IV hydration. It goes by many names. It's very in vogue right now. I think it got its first start with a lot of the hangover. That's how everybody knows about it, which it does work. And really, when you drink too much and you're hungover, what are the things that you feel? You feel like crap, right? So what do you want to do? You want to feel better. So with the IVs, it's fluid. You need the hydration back because most of the time you get dehydrated when you drink. And then you need the vitamins, the boost, that little energy back to you. And sometimes if you're really not feeling well, we'll put some stuff into it to make you less nauseous, make the headache go away. And then, obviously it brings you back. But there's vitamin drips for all kinds of stuff. So we have vitamin drips for beauty, right, that have stuff in it that will, for the beauty aspect. We have glutathione drips, which are like a natural antioxidant. I try to get a drip once a month at least. Sometimes I get them 2 times a month. And if it's a really bad month, I'll get it every week. But they're very safe. I mean, it's like cellular turnover. So with our IVs and any IVs actually, they get down into the cellular level. So when you take a vitamin by mouth, by the time it gets to your stomach, you've lost 90% of it.
Oh.
Yeah, you've lost 90%. So if you think about how many vitamins you take for different things. Like I know people that'll say, I take vitamin C, I take vitamin D, I take all my multivitamin, I take zinc, I take everything. And they have like 17 jars or, bottles there. When you do an IV drip, it's one time. And for 30 days, because that's the turnover of your cells, you have those nutrients and they go right into your cell, 100%.
Wow.
So you bypass the GI tract.
Okay.
So when people say to me, but they're so expensive, I said, I know that. But if you calculate how much a bottle of 30 pills times how many different types you're taking, you come up cheaper with an IV.
Oh, sure.
Right? And it's one time you're inconvenienced versus every day because I am terrible at taking pills. Horrible. I forget all the time.
I take like a, I told you I take the collagen though. I just got that, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I also take like a is it a prebiotic or I think it's a prebiotic, which I like a lot, but it is expensive.
Yeah.
So like you said, all this stuff adds up. And then I was taking the Nutrafol for my hair, which I just stopped doing that, but that did work. But they're pricey. And
they're pricey.
You know, and then you kind of get into this, like, there's so many things out there, right?
Yeah.
And like what to do and what to take. And also like you got like wrapped into your sold on like Instagram. You're like, oh, that looks lovely. I want to do that. But I will say though, that Nutrafol does work, or it worked for me anyway.
Yeah, it does. No, it does. It does. It is actually amazing. But like you said, with anything, if you don't maintain it, so once you stop it, then what do you do?
Right.
So, you know, we do have a lot of clients that come in for biotin because after COVID, I think a lot, especially women, noticed it more. You started losing your hair.
I did. I totally did.
Yeah. So that was, I guess, one of the things a lot of women started getting their hair thinning. And then the other thing is also as well, when you start losing weight, your hair starts to get thinner too. Because I noticed that with me. I started to lose my hair. It got a lot thinner. I mean, again, so age too. I mean, like I said, I'm in my 50s.
Right.
So, you know, but I noticed that as well. And the vitamin IV drips have biotin in them, which goes right to your blood, you know, right into the cellular level. So I was like, wow. And when I started doing the IVs and I noticed, and doing biotin shots on top of it, I started noticing my eyelashes, my fingernails, my hair started getting a little bit healthier, you know? So again, but it takes time, right? But it's not an insta fix. You have to give it some time. So
what would you recommend with the IVs, like coming once a month?
Once a month. I think once a month will give you like what you need. You know, vitamin C is a little bit shorter acting. So like, you know, for people that are sick, you know, they want to come in and get a high dose vitamin C to kind of knock out what they have.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't understand with the high dose vitamin C drips, which our regular natural defense drip is a high dose vitamin C. You don't even need to add more to it. Some places you need to add more to it. What it does, it changes the pH in your blood, right? So vitamin C is acidic. So it changes the pH in the blood, and viruses don't like to live in a blood or in an environment where it's too acidic. So that's how you knock out the cold.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's a little thing that people don't realize. Like, you know, they think it's all, you know, I don't believe in IV therapy. It does work. You know, I would usually get an IV before I fly, before a vacation, and then after. We have a lot of people that do that now. They're really starting to understand the benefits of it. But even for regular maintenance, once a month is fine.
I would totally do that. I always get sick on planes.
You do?
Every time I go on a plane, I get a cold.
Everyone says that.
It's so annoying.
It's the air.
Yeah.
It is. Because you figure if somebody's sick over in like row 1, by the person in row 30, then that air gets circulated. So they're getting it back there.
That's what my friend, we were talking about this last night at dinner. And like one of my girlfriends said she'll drink a martini to knock it out. She's like, it always works.
There you go. There's alcohol. It cures lots of things, from toothaches to the viruses.
It's killing it.
It's true. It's true. I do believe in that too. But I think you're right though. When you go and you get ready to fly, so I have a lot of people, and I know this sounds crazy, and it's the truth. I flew during COVID, right? I would go back and forth. And I didn't let it stop me. Wherever I could fly, I would fly. And I wasn't really nervous about it. But I would get an IV before, during, and after. So, and I never, knock wood, I never got COVID.
Me either.
Yep, never got it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't get the antibody test. I might have,
I might have had it before we knew what it was.
Yeah.
But then I don't even care. But I mean, during I didn't get it.
Me either.
And people were like, oh my gosh, you're flying. Are you crazy? You're going to, you know. And I said, I can get it on a plane and I can get it in Target. Right. I can get it in the food store.
Yeah.
You can get it anywhere. So I don't know what happened, but I never got it. I did the drips. And I have to tell you, I think it really did help. And now I do it more religiously because I want that energy. And I'm very bad at taking pills. So forget it. I won't take them. I don't like them. And then I'm not going to take this stuff every day when I'm only getting 10% of it.
Right.
So I hate needles, but I do get it once a month, and I don't look. I let them give me my IV. But I will tell you, I like it better. And you get that immediate feeling of, okay, this is good. And then you kind of know when you start needing another drip, because by the 3-week mark, you start feeling like, okay, I'm ready.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me about athletes.
Got a few of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially people who do marathons and things like that.
Yeah.
They will come in and kind of pregame, as we say. They'll come in and get a lot of hydration, a lot of the elements that they need, because, you know, when you sweat a lot of things out. So they'll come in and they'll start building up their reserve.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a guy who's now training for something. He comes in like almost every week.
Oh, wow.
And he says, I'm doing this, not an Ironman. I forgot what he called it. But anyways, doing something in September. And he started coming about a month ago. And he's pretty good. And then I have some guys that just bodybuild.
Right.
And they come in, you know, once every 2 weeks. One guy comes every month. they like the way it makes them feel, and they
Yeah.
feel they have more energy to lift more.
Yeah. No, I mean, I believe that. I'm a runner, and I think running is like one of those, I guess, sports, I guess, that you kind of, it's always hard to figure out, like in terms of how to like make your body in optimal performance, like at all times. Cause I've only run one marathon. I run New York, and I like half marathons.
Wow,
That's
congrats.
like my, like, oh, thanks.
That's an amazing feat.
But I like half marathons. That's like,
Okay.
I probably do another marathon again. It's just very time consuming, the training and busy and stuff. So, but the halves are like manageable, and like also like enough that like I feel like it's an accomplishment for the year. So I usually do one a year. So, but like, it's hard. Some days I'll go out and I can barely run 2 miles.
Really?
And then other days I can go out and run 10, and it's like not even like, and it's definitely about my hydration, about like how, the nutrients I'm giving my body. But it also, like, my husband used to play professional baseball. So he like had a whole team of people that were always guiding him for, for nutritionists and doctors and stuff. And he says that they always tell the players that like you will always feel how you treated your body 2 days prior.
Absolutely.
Right? So like if you went out like binge drinking or whatever, and then on like Tuesday you had like a crappy run, it's because like your body is depleted from that still.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting, right? To like kind of, just all the things that you're doing and putting into your body, and
you hold on to that though. So that's what a lot of people don't realize is that, let's say, I'm not saying everyone eats McDonald's every day, but you binge on McDonald's and you do feel terrible after you eat it because you've eaten so well. And it's the same thing. It's like with drinking, I think it's very hard not to have a drink and not to be sociable and have that glass of wine that maybe goes to 2, that maybe goes to 3.
Right.
And you don't do it often,
right,
but you pay the price for it later.
Yeah.
But I think for us as women, some of the fatigue that comes in those days where, like you said, you have great days where you can run a marathon, and then you have days where you're struggling.
Yep.
It's the B vitamins. Like I noticed for me, where am I lacking? And I'm noticing what gives me energy and what doesn't. On the days I feel great, I usually feel better after I get an IV, which tells me that I'm lacking everything.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So yeah, it is those little things, because your vitamins, if they're off, and your nutrients and your potassium and your sodium and your chloride and all that stuff, you just need a little tweak off, and your body, works kind of, everything works together. So, and if one thing is off, then it starts like a kind of a sequela of events for everything else, and it took me a while to learn that. I was living on coffee and barely eating, and I was commuting, and and I thought, oh my gosh, 6 cups of coffee a day is normal, right? Until one day you're sitting and your heart is racing out of your chest, and you realize how unhealthy that is, and then you're eating crap food because you're in the car all the time and you're commuting back and forth. So I think you start to change when you start realizing, as you give your kids, as they get older, and you see what they need, because now they're doing sports in school, and you learn with them,
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, I did.
I used to be the same way. I drank way too much coffee, and I was much thinner because I was running, but I was also like you said, like, but I was like in the car, I used to sell wine. So I was always traveling all over the state, and that's what I did for most of my career. So, but I had like big box like retailers. So I had Whole Foods and ShopRite, and like those were my clients, but like up in like Sparta and like all over and then Connecticut, I depending on what company I worked for, like different territories. So, so like some lunches I would like grab like a cookie, like it was terrible. But I look back and like, I looked terrible. Not in a bad, like I didn't, my face, like I just didn't look like healthy. You know what I mean?
But you were thin.
I was thin, but like I didn't look good. Do you know what I mean? Because I was just like kind of depleted looking almost.
And
I was running a lot still, but I was just like, I wasn't really like giving my body what it needs, right?
Yeah.
So I think now, just I think also because of wellness and this whole new wave of like really self-care, and
self-care is huge.
Yeah.
Self-care is huge. And as moms, we feel guilty about doing it.
Right.
I think everybody struggles with that. I did. I worked, I came home, dinner, kids, activities, soccer, this, whatever sport the kids were in, and you feel bad. And then if you take an hour for yourself, you're like, God, that's an hour I could be doing laundry.
Yeah.
It's an hour I could be doing something, cleaning my house, whatever it would be. And you feel guilt, and you have the mom guilt.
Yep.
So I think one of the things that I've learned, with Liquivida, getting better into doing certain things that make you feel good, it's not just body. It's a mind reset too.
Yeah.
Which I'm starting to learn now. I'm getting better at it, but I struggled with that.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because I am a big Botox fan. I started getting Botox a couple of years ago when I initially started working with the first. So med spas, I think, became like much more prevalent, I'd say, within the last 3 years. Is that fair, right? Like,
Yeah, I think
right?
so. Mhm.
So the first one that I started working with Monmouth Moms, and I started like going in to begin the campaign, and they said you should try Botox, and I'm like, no, I don't know, like what the heck is that? You only really saw it on TV,
Yeah.
and then after the first time, you're like, oh, this is amazing.
It's amazing. I don't know
It's
why people don't
amazing.
try more of it. I have a face full of it. I love it.
Yeah. So that consistently, like, I need to go back. I've been bad this summer, but like I am a believer. Totally will go every 3 to 4 months with Botox,
Yeah.
or less than that sometimes. Talk about that too. But then the facials, right? Then I've had some of the treatments, right, with like different things to get rid of melasma and like all of the just like
Your skin's
things.
amazing.
Thank you.
Mhm.
But like you start noticing things, right, like on your face. 10 years ago when I looked at my face, I was like, oh, I look great, I look tan, but
The tan hides lots of stuff.
Exactly.
Love a tan.
But at the same time, you're
Yeah.
just destroying your skin.
Yeah.
But there's a lot you can do, right? And it
Yeah.
also is like a little overwhelming. And what do you recommend to like moms who are, coming in for Botox? Oh, I should get this. Oh, I should do this laser treatment. Oh, I should get
Yeah.
this. In terms of like, like a nice balance, right? Of
Yeah.
like what you
Yeah.
recommend, like monthly facials, Botox quarterly, like what do you normally say?
Well, I think when it comes to the Botox, I think a lot of people are afraid of it because, everyone, and I mean, obviously, too.
Mm-hmm.
I fully admit it because I don't think it's anything to be embarrassed of. I have clients that will say, please don't tell me I'm getting Botox. And then you look at them and you're saying, but you look so much better and refreshed. For me, Botox is refreshing. It makes you get that really nice, like I've had a great night or a great week of sleep. And I think people are afraid to admit they get it. Why?
Yeah.
Why? There's nothing to be embarrassed of. I mean, it's just you. It is you.
Right.
But you just have
enhancement.
It's an enhancement. It makes you more, makes your natural beauty come through. So Botox is like anything else, right? It's like, do you get your hair colored? Did you get your hair cut?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, most women do, right? I mean, when I see grays popping and I'm like, okay, it's time. I'm overdue. We take care of that aspect because the world sees our hair as our crown.
Mm-hmm.
Our face is just the same way. It's a jewel. Your face is what you look at every day. And regardless of who you're doing it for, and I hate when people say to me, I don't want my husband to know, but you're not doing it for your husband. You're doing it for you.
Yeah.
I've never done anything for anybody else other than me.
Right.
And yes, can it be expensive? But, we make things affordable, obviously, because it's something you want people to stick with and do. So you do the Botox, and I see people that say, well, it's too expensive. I can only do it every 6 months. The problem with that is when you paralyze the wrinkles in one area and you don't maintain it, then other ones get stronger. Those muscles start to get a little stronger. So people will say, well, I never had this before and now I have this here. Well, that's because you've only treated here or whatever it is. So I think when you go into an injector that you trust, like you do, talk to them and then listen to what they say. They're not trying to sell you more. I think it's easier to go lighter and always add than to go heavy and then can't take away.
And you can always go back, right?
You can always go back.
Yeah,
and so we're the mindset of it's best to do what you need for full correction.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't, then you start slow and get into it. It's like training wheels. A lot of people have never had Botox before. Like, let me just start slow, which is great. But then you maintain it. So it's just like your hair color and your nails and your manicure and your pedicure. You would never not, leave your nail polish on for 3 months, right? So it's maintenance.
Yeah. And
I think the more you maintain it, the less of a chore it becomes.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. And then with facials, right? I'm guilty of this sometimes that, oh my God, I don't have time for a facial. You do. And you know what? For 1 hour, every mom and every woman and everyone who works and every man, whoever, you deserve that 1 hour.
Oh, totally. I love a facial. Oh
I know.
My gosh,
it's my
the best
favorite.
thing.
That's why I'll take that sometimes over Botox.
I know. It's like so relaxing.
It is relaxing. And you know what? You're doing something good for your skin, which it's the skin that you're going to be in until the day you die.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I've learned as I've gotten older. And then people say, well, our products are medical grade products for a reason. You don't see them heavily advertised, right? So, but they are expensive. Maybe not on the whole expensive side. There's more expensive, but good products should last you, and you don't need a ton of it.
Mm-hmm.
You need a little bit, and a little drop goes a long way. And I think that's what people forget. If you pay something, it's like you buy a high-end car or a big house. The maintenance on that house is going to be more money, right? It's going to cost you more to air condition it and things like that. Your face, you buy good product, it'll last you for months.
Oh, totally. Even a year sometimes.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff I have, it's very concentrated, so you only
That's
need
the
a little
word.
bit.
That's the word.
And yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in medical grade. Everyone always asks me like what I use.
Yeah.
And it's like mishmash of different products that
and
I've
you
like
do.
test and try.
Absolutely.
I also like to kind of like switch it up a little bit. I think that works sometimes too. 'Cause like then I don't know, like I feel like you get like less buildup and stuff. I have more of an oily like kind of complexion. So
but what works for you in December may not work for you in June.
Totally.
So you have to switch it. The same thing with your hair, your shampoos. I switch out my shampoos
Mm-hmm.
like, every so many days or every month. You switch it out because in the winter your hair is dry and in the summer your hair is a little bit more oily because you're outside more and you have a little bit more oil production. But the same thing is with your face.
Right.
You don't use the same body cream that you use in the summer that you do in the winter. Right. So it's the same thing with the face. And I think all of it is just a process.
Yeah.
It's just a process. You have to learn. But if you go somewhere into these med spas, and a lot of med spas are the knowledgeable staff, and the nurse practitioners and the physician assistants and the estheticians, they all know their specialty.
Right.
And just like when they come in for IVs, the nurses all know. They'll ask you first, what are you feeling? We don't just say, okay, well, we look at you. Okay, here, you just need this.
Mm-hmm.
We talk to you. And the same thing with your skin. Like I didn't know, because I don't know why I never looked that far, but I did have brown patches that I started getting as I got older from the sun. I did damage.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm trying to be religious with good product, and I'm going to start now in the fall, do some peels, which I've never really done, but I started doing light peels and I do see a difference.
It kind of becomes fun too, like
it
trying
does
different things and seeing what works and everything.
And you like that new skin.
I know. I love it. I think what I've kind of gathered like over just from, watching and doing my own stuff is like Botox and then like monthly facials if you can, right?
Yes.
And then like medical grade skincare. And that's like a really good combo. So
it's
like
a very
look
good
fresh.
routine. Yeah. It's a very, very
totally.
good routine.
Tell me about Botox and so like why some people metabolize it faster and have to go back sooner than the 3-month mark, which is actually what I've experienced in more recently. And also if you recommend like switching up from different brands of I guess whatever Botox is.
So there's so many. So Botox falls into the family of neurotoxins. So neurotoxins, there's Botox, which everyone knows because that's like the first one really. Dysport's another one, and there's Xeomin, which is more of a natural product. Doesn't have as many proteins in it. There's so many, right? There's Daxxify, Jeuveau. So we carry Botox and Dysport and Xeomin. And some people like to switch it up. They'll do Botox for so many years, and then they're like, well, you know what? It's not really holding. It's just I'm noticing more movement quicker. So what, we usually ask them about lifestyle. And you're a runner, so you metabolize everything faster. Even your Botox, right? Probably any kind of medication, any kind of vitamins, you eat it up, your body eats it up because you're running on full speed. So the same thing. And I've changed it out. I've done Botox forever. And then I said, let me try Dysport just to give it a change. And sometimes you do need to do that. You just get used to it.
Right. Like so shampoo, right?
Exactly. And then you just find what works.
Right.
And then, I always go back to Botox, but some people don't like Botox because they say after a while it gives them a heavy headache. Or heaviness in the head.
Well, like the first couple of days.
It's the proteins in it, So then they'll move to Dysport, and the thing with Botox is you have to wait almost 2 weeks to get the result. With Dysport, it's a little bit sooner.
Oh.
Yeah, and with Xeomin.
Okay.
Yeah, so different. So when you talk to your injectors, they'll tell you and they'll look at you. But a lot of times, we do have a lot of people that come in, they'll say, I usually get Botox and this time it just didn't take. And it's, honestly, it's the body. And it's cyclical. Like your body goes through changes.
Okay.
So sometimes you might be able to keep that Botox for 4 months and sometimes 2 weeks. Well, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you start seeing, oh my gosh, what happened after a month? It depends on your body, and our bodies never stay the same. They're always in constant movement and constant change. So I noticed with me the same thing where, about a year, 2 years ago, I didn't need as much Botox as I do now.
Yeah.
And now I need more. And I'm like, okay, what is that? And they just said, you're getting older. And you're getting more wrinkles, and they're showing in different places now where they didn't show before. Like, so now I see the crow's feet a little bit more where they used to be here. Now they're seeping down onto my cheek. I'm like, okay, great. But maybe I smile a lot. So there you go.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
not a bad
it's
problem.
not a bad problem to have, but there's something to remedy that.
Oh.
But Botox softens you. Dysport, they all soften your look. So you never should come out of a place looking unlike yourself, The same thing with fillers. People give fillers a bad rap. If they're done incorrectly, you will look like the Joker, yes.
Right.
But if you go to someone whose eye, and always look at the person who's injecting, I always say, if they have the look that you like, then you're in good hands.
Got it.
I know what I want to see on my face, so I wouldn't go to somebody who didn't look like I wanted to somewhat look like.
Okay.
And you have to have reasonable expectations too.
Yeah.
You can't, walk in and then after one session come out and look like Kim Kardashian. My God, don't we all wish we had those, beautiful cheekbones and stuff. But
or Jennifer Lopez. She's like, doesn't age.
yeah, I know. And I can't believe it's just olive oil. I don't know. If I put olive oil on my face, I think I'd have acne.
Me too. Yeah. I know. Oh
I know.
My gosh. I don't know if I believe that.
I know. Because you look at the pictures from before and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's just part of the aging process. And now I think we're in a culture where aging isn't such a bad thing anymore.
Right.
We're okay with it, but we want to be a little less older looking, but we want to be okay. I mean, women are growing their hair out now and doing, full gray hair, full white hair.
I saw there's someone that I follow who's a plastic surgeon in the area, and she's doing that right now.
And it probably looks amazing.
Yeah, I haven't seen like the finished product, but I think she's in the midst of like growing it out. But then, but very interesting. I went gray like in my 20s, like just like little ones.
Yeah.
But now like I'm 39, and it's like significantly more. I have to actually dye my hair every 3 weeks, and I stopped going to the salon because it's such a I just didn't want to sit in the chair, and I was like, I could do that. So I buy this it's called Madison Reed.
Oh yeah, the kits, yeah,
and it's really good. I like it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I know, and but you see that as you got older, though, you started needing more color, right? Because as you get older, your body changes.
Yeah,
and it produces more or less of something.
Yeah.
So with me, it was gray right after pregnancy.
Oh,
I went very gray quickly, and after every kid I had, I noticed more gray.
Okay.
So now I'm in that chair probably 3 to 4 weeks. No more than 4 weeks.
Right.
If I go to 5, I'm miserable. It's like
your hair looks really nice. I love the highlights.
Thank you. They told me if you go lighter, you don't see all the gray.
Yeah.
Well, I do, but on a man, it looks great when they're gray. When if you're gray and you're a woman, it doesn't look so gray, right?
No,
it's cultural.
It's annoying.
I know.
So you have 2 wellness centers. You're a mom of 3. You have 2 in college. So,
I do.
So in the summers, they're all home?
They were, but this year was like the first year where my daughter in California. So I have a 22-year-old who's in Orlando, who's a senior at UCF. She came home and spent the whole summer because she said, Mom, this is probably the last summer I'm going to be home all summer.
Okay.
And that like killed me.
Oh.
But I enjoyed having her home. But I know that now after she graduates, she wants a job and she's going to stay down there. So that's part of the growth, right? You take them to where you can get them, and now they're adulting. My daughter in California is over in San Diego, which I wouldn't come back either. It's beautiful there, and she was smart, and she said to me, I like it here. I love my life out here, and it serves her so well. So she came back for a week or 2, and she just couldn't wait to go back.
Oh.
So I felt guilty, saying, please stay, please stay. And then I realized like they've outgrown. They're ready for that next chapter in their life.
Yeah.
So, but I had them. They're actually 15 months apart.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So when they
Irish
were little.
twins, right?
Yeah, they're Irish twins. Yes. And they're thicker than thieves. They're so close. But I have them on both sides of the country. So that's a little difficult for, visiting. And then my son is 16. He'll be 17 in October. And he starts driving and he'll get his freedom. And I'll probably.
Isn't that so scary when they get their license? We were also talking about that last night. It's terrifying. I hated that part of teaching them how to drive. I'm like, my son was screaming at me. He's like, stop it. You're being ridiculous.
And then of course it's like when you teach them to drive, like the day before you saw a terrible accident, you're like, oh God, what kind of car can I get?
And then
them?
when they actually get their license, and every night you're like, are you okay? Stop texting me when I'm driving.
Oh yes. Or calling, why aren't you answering the text?
Yes,
yeah. Well, then you get the Life 360.
Yeah.
And in the beginning I was like on that thing all the time. Where are they? They're supposed to call me or text me when they get to where they're going.
Yeah.
But something happens when they turn 17, they get their license. All you see is the back of their head as they're walking past the kitchen. It's like, bye, Mom.
Bye.
And then you don't see them.
It was nice. And then there's like a small window where you're like, can you go to Lavody's and get this for me?
Oh, yeah.
Can you go here and get this for me? Okay, whatever. Or like, and you have like you have a DD too, right? If you wanted to go out with your girlfriends, he was driving us, and then that ended. They're like so excited to be on the road. They'll do anything.
Yeah. Oh,
and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, can't you go?
Yeah. Yeah. Or the best is like now that they're driving and that you've taught them well when they say, Mom, I'm going out tonight with my friends and I may have a drink. I'm not saying I will, but could you pick me up? And you're like, absolutely.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely. So you know that there is that fear of the freedom they get when they drive. Like now my son, if I can put him in a tank, I would. He could just drive out around town.
I know.
Because I worry, with boys especially more. But he's very responsible. But there is a fear, no matter which kid you put in a car. Like even my oldest daughter, she used to drive and I was very comfortable, but she's a lefty. Okay. So when I taught her how to drive, it was interesting because, lefties see the road differently than righties. Mm-hmm. So as a lefty in her driving, she would pull over to the right a little bit. And I'm like, okay, the curbs, please don't hit the curbs.
Oh my gosh.
So, But I figured, like, how do we make, now she's driving for what, 5 years? And I'm like, wow, where did it go?
Yeah.
And you're a good driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah. My son delivered pizza for like a couple of years, so it made him like a really good, like, solid, because he
Yeah.
drove a lot,
Yeah.
So now he's pretty good.
yeah.
It's a little too speedy for me, but otherwise pretty good.
I know. It's fun. It's funny though, but they love that. And then they realize, like, I think how much of metal they have when they're behind the wheel and how fast this thing can actually go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my
Yeah.
daughter did the same thing. She drove for Uber Eats, I think.
Oh, very
Yeah, or
nice.
DoorDash. I forgot which one it was.
Yeah,
And
he
she
used to do
loved
that
it.
too.
Yeah.
It's good, like good. They can just work whenever,
Yeah.
So
But they're good.
they're good. Favorite restaurants in Monmouth County when you're not hustling, business owning, doing all the things.
Let's see. Favorite restaurants. There's a few. I love Il Coliseo.
Where's that?
That's in
the one in
across from
Middletown?
Whole Foods. Yeah, in Middletown.
Yeah, everyone
Mhm.
raves about it. I haven't been there.
Very good. Very good. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. It just got me for a loop because I don't really go out to dinner much. I do, but I don't. Red Bank, I would if it wasn't so much of the parking issue.
Yeah,
Teak is nice.
we just went there last night. It
Yeah.
was very
Is that
good.
where you guys went?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go upstairs?
Uh-huh.
Oh, how nice is that?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been there in forever, and like the best pad thai, and I love their lo mein. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Just the bar is even nice. Like it's just a nice, in the winter I like it.
yeah. Mhm.
There's just it's you know what's weird too, which I went to for the first time a few months back, was the Count Basie Theater. I've lived here all these
Mhm.
years.
Oh, the
and
first time.
First time I went
Oh,
to a
wow.
concert. And I have never been there. And I can't believe how nice it is to have drinks outside.
Mhm.
It's like, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I'm learning, and you start getting into that a little bit more. And you're like, all right, let's venture out. And you don't realize how big Monmouth County is.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, when you're exhausted, you just want to stay in that like 5-mile radius, and you don't want to go too far.
Totally. Yeah. People that they say that live in the peninsula don't leave the peninsula. And,
Yes.
it's like a whole thing. If we're talking about Marlboro, they don't
Yes.
live in the Marlboro
Yes,
area.
yes.
Yeah.
People don't. And Monmouth County's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you have different restaurants everywhere. Like, you can go as far west out to Freehold, and then I think then you have more down, like, by the beach and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There is a lot. I mean, there's just different places. I don't know. It's just so hard to figure out. Steak. I'm still looking for a good steak place. Everyone likes Gabriella's.
Yeah.
Um,
I've only been there once, and
Yeah.
we've been to Butcher's Block once, but that's that's
can't
not
get in
something
there.
you regularly do.
yeah, no, I can't even. We couldn't even get a reservation there. I was like, okay, I'm done. I tried. You can't even call. You can't
I
call.
think you have
and
to
speak.
go there. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a
I don't
whole
know.
thing.
And then where do you go if they don't take you? I don't know. When I'm hungry, I want to eat. Like,
Right.
I don't want to
No,
wait
I
2
think
hours.
you like go you have to drive there and go, and I don't know. From what I heard, like
Yeah.
go in person, make the reservation, and then like for a different date, basically.
Oh, that's a lot of
Yeah,
work.
I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, and Angelica's is like that too in Seabright.
Yeah.
You can go. Actually, you can go. I've gone there
Mhm.
and gotten in like the night of.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
That's good.
Yeah, I think they keep like some other tables like open. So
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know. I've had like really good like luck with getting reservations. There's a place
In the summer too?
in just like in general. My
Mhm.
husband turned 40 in the spring.
Oh.
And we went to AC because they golfed and he likes to gamble. So we went there for a couple days with family and friends. And there's a restaurant that's like very big, like on the hit list right now. It's like this, like all the rage. And
Yeah.
it's called Cafe 2025, I think.
Mm.
It's Italian. Excellent. It's very small. So I think that's why it's so hard to get in because they
okay.
like have a lot of tables.
Mhm.
But evidently I hit the lottery. I just happened to call them
Oh, wow.
to see if I could get a reservation for 8, and they picked up and they're like, sure. So
Oh, wow.
I told like people that were familiar with the restaurant, they're like, you know how hard that is. I was like, wow, maybe I
Yeah.
should play the lottery.
Yeah, exactly. Get that ticket, you know?
So, but that's a good spot. If you're ever
Yeah,
in AC, it's
in
delicious.
AC,
Yeah,
okay.
so good.
It's,
So-
I think like working in Marlboro, I do like Cafe Luna. I went there. That was good. What's the other place? Oh my gosh, I can't think of them. They're going to kill me. I'm blanking on it. But there are like, there's a Greek restaurant there I'm dying to try.
Oh, okay.
In Marlboro there on 9, Marble Manalbin. But as far as Middletown goes, I mean, the restaurants they're better. They're coming up to be better.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just like to sit at the bar, like Charlie's. I'll go to Charlie's.
Oh, I love Charlie's.
With friends. I'll meet, people there and then have a drink at the bar.
So beautiful.
It
Such a
is. It's
place.
nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice place, and it's close because it's only like a mile or two from my house, so it's good.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Sometimes you just get into that mood where you just don't want to cook.
Yep.
It's like where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would love to see a great pizza place though come.
Oh, I know. Well, we're talking about that, but hopefully.
Yes,
Fingers
hopefully very
crossed.
soon. Fingers crossed it'll come to near where I am.
Yeah, totally. So where can everyone find you?
Okay, so Middletown Liquivida Wellness Center is in the ShopRite Plaza, the new one, on 35 and Kings Highway. We are on the Kings Highway side, facing the Wendy's.
Got it.
And then in Marlboro, we are in an office building, believe it or not, a medical professional building on Willow Lane, which is right off Route 9 by Il Nido. That's another great restaurant.
Yeah.
So we are across from that plaza where Il Nido is in.
I know where that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the old Nona's is now a Turkish restaurant.
Oh.
So we're right directly behind that.
Got it.
Yeah, so you'll find us in there on the first floor.
Very nice.
So, yeah.
And is it, you're on Instagram?
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
Okay.
We have our 1-year anniversary in Middletown coming up September 23rd.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exciting.
It goes by really fast.
Yeah.
It's like having a child, when you turn around, it's like, oh my gosh, they're 1 year old already.
Yes.
This is my baby. And it's
totally can relate to that.
Yeah. This is my other baby.
Yeah.
So we're a year old and the staff is just like amazing. And I can't believe it. So we're going to have the Friday and the Saturday that weekend. Hopefully, everyone get back into their school routine, which I can't wait for.
Yeah.
And then there'll be more self-time. It's time for self-care, I think. So I think everyone's going to start getting back into the fall and, do things now for themselves.
Totally.
Yeah, especially when
that's my plan.
Okay. Mine too. Yeah. But I think it's good. Yeah. So it's a mix of everything. Everyone goes to ShopRite and they just drive right past it and then they find it like, wait a minute, I didn't know you were right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a great location though. So
it is. Sure. It's coming up. There's a few more spots opening. Nicholas Creamery's there.
Yeah.
And Bouscardu. So it's good. We get a lot more traffic now.
Great.
A great nail place there.
It's a great ShopRite too because it's very convenient.
And they have a liquor store.
I know.
You don't have to go and do 2 different
places. I hate that. I always wish I lived a little bit closer to that and like Whole Foods too for the same reason.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because it's much more convenient. I hate like multiple stops.
Oh, you and me both. I know. It's when you're done, you're done. Or that you just go to one store and you're like, okay, I'm so done. I'm not going to the other.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like good to have like a Lavotti's where you get a little bit of one type of food and then you go to ShopRite and you go to.
Yeah, that's what I normally do because I live in Aberdeen. So it's like I go to Lavotti's a lot, and then there's a liquor store right there. So I'll pick up wine, or if like I need wine for cooking or whatever, and then ShopRite if I have to, like for like certain things, but not on the same day. I hate.
Oh yeah, not on the same day.
2
stores too many,
and then like a Costco run, like try to go monthly. Sometimes it's more. It really depends. So
yeah, I know. But all the towns are starting to look alike though, with the same sort of setup. There's a Whole Foods, there's a ShopRite, there's a liquor store. Yeah. I know, and you're like, oh, how many stores do I want to go to today?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But and Trader Joe's is opening too by you, which is so exciting.
I cannot wait.
So
that
exciting.
is so convenient. Yeah, that'll be great. So I'm excited.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you
we
for having me.
Learned so much today. I'm so excited to come visit your center and get a facial and meet everyone. So
yes, we'd love to have you. Yeah. And you get to see the vibe there. Great. Yeah. It's very beachy, very relaxing.
Okay. Check it out.
Great.
Coming up, make sure to check out our 2023 Back to School Guide. We have extracurricular activities in there, tutoring centers, and also we added this year, we're to go back to school shopping. So we listed like the malls and some of the local boutiques that are great for kids of all ages. So we did like tween stuff and teen stuff, and then if you have littles. So all listed in there. Check it out. Good. It's under lists and guides on the monmouthmoms.com. We also have our fall festival coming up. I can't believe like soon. Yeah. I get like when I'm planning my events, it's the summer and I'm like, okay, it's like a ways out. I'm good. And like still kind of piecing it together. And then like I spend a month of just like paralyzed and anxiety. But I love it. It's fun. It's just, you always want to make sure it goes perfectly. So so that's coming. October 22nd, really excited at Bellworks. We have fall vendors. We have Touch a Truck this year. We have really this is our second Touch a Truck outside, and we have really cool trucks that we just added. I'm super excited. The Monmouth County Public Works System has generously are coming and providing really cool tractors and all kinds of excavators and all the fun stuff that kids like to climb on. So really excited about that. We're also, it's a week before Halloween, but we have tons of vendors coming, so you can get your shopping started for the holidays.
Oh, that's great.
And come in costume. Lots of vendors will have candy. We have a kids zone with all kinds of activities and story time and yoga and all kinds of fun stuff. So a lot of stuff happening there. Register on Eventbrite. You can look up the Monmouth Moms. So stay tuned for more information on that. And as always, as we head into this school season, look to us for grab and go options for if you're on the go for food, for takeout, we have a whole list for that.
Good.
Events happening on the weekends, resources for healthcare needs, and for everything in between. So
Yeah.
check us out as always, and enjoy
And
the
I
rest
love
of the
your
summer.
shirt.
Oh, thank you. These are new. Yeah, I forgot to talk about that. I'll talk about
Yeah.
that next time. But
Yeah.
new merch that we just added. So crew necks and our t-shirts, we sold out of a lot of sizes. So hopefully in the coming weeks we'll have some restocks.
Oh,
But
good.
yeah,
Good.
so thanks everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.